Amazing. Amazing. We finally finding out the origins of real black Christianity for the first time.
Yes, sir.
I.S.U.P.K.
I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high,
this
was
whole
the devil.
place down here was poor
I
as
looked
hell.
into the eyes of the
This
devil.
was a poor, destitute area, man, in this country. And these devils came out. All these houses you see, they stole from black people. Black people was living in these old, broken down tenement-type houses, and they came in and took over these tenements and renovated them. Them houses right there, all them ones you see with all the new rooming inside it and all of that, all of these was ghetto dumps. With 4, 5, 6 families living in these dumps. They was all torn down. And there's still areas that they haven't even done yet. But they taking it all over, taking it all, stealing all the black people's resources. You know, don't tell me the economy is good because Donald Trump making deals in China. The economy is good because they robbing black people and stealing everything they got, and they got rid of all the Mexicans, man. You understand? And then now you got white men coming to your house talking about they want to cut your grass. White man came to my house, knocked, no. Hi, we can cut your grass for $25 a month. Said, man, you better get the hell up out of here, man. The only one cut my grass is a Mexican. Okay, unless you got him working for you, I can't do nothing for you. It's a lot.
So, sir. Yeah, if I could, just walk down this way.
Forget the head at the cloud so you don't phase me.
I guarantee that you gon' regret it. Remember I said it.
No, you could dead it.
What you saying? I can't win?
No, devil, nice try. So until we meet again.
I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high, was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil.
Hey, let me tell you, man. Let me tell you something. If I could, can I say something on this? Real quick, I gotta say one small thing. It's a small thing. Tell me if I'm right. This is where the bulk of the slaves came in at, right? This city here, Charleston, South Carolina. This is one of the major ports. That's right. Brothers was right down at the slave market the other day. This was one of the major ports where slaves came in. How in the hell you gonna not have your guard on white people after what they did to us? In the town and the city where the slaves are. I feel sorry for them black people for not knowing what you learned in the UPK. You learn in the UPK to never trust these devils, man. I don't give a damn if it's 400 years or not. They the ones that put us in chain and sold us like you sell horse meat or pigs or any other cattle that you would sell. They sold us the same way. And why should we forget that? They don't forget nothing that is done. They still trying to bomb Iran right now for what they did in the 70s by kidnapping the Edomites. Right or wrong? So they ain't giving up on what is happening to them. Why should we give up on what's happening to us?
One by one, they arrive at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina, preparing for a weekly Bible study class. You even see a little girl go inside. They couldn't know that just 30 minutes later, a rampage would erupt. They hug in the parking lot. They embrace at the door. One woman shows off a poster board to another parishioner. And this is chilling. You can see a black car pulling into a parking space. It's the killer, Dylan Roof, getting out of the car. He walks to the front door. He adjusts his sweatshirt. His gun is believed to be hidden underneath.
This should have never happened. This should have never, ever happened because we should have been our people should have been on guard, should have been watching over those women and children. The church is not equipped to lead black people anymore.
That's right.
You need the UPK and the men of God to lead to lead black people.
That's
now.
right. That's right.
The church is ill-equipped to protect and to secure black people, man. The first white man come up with a smile and a nice face. You smiling and kissing and all up in his face. Meanwhile, he come in there and kill 9 people to death. And listen, and to this day, once again, to this day, they still have not told us the full story of what happened inside the church.
Also played in court, showing the parishioners inside the church. There's Roof, just sitting there waiting to open fire. And look at this, Roof leaving the church, the .45 caliber gun in his hand. He gets in his car and pulls away.
Because I believe he raped some of those women, man, and sodomized some of those women. And they're not bringing that part of the story out. He put them women on their knees and murdered them and raped them right in front of their men, and then murdered the men as well. It wasn't just no straight shooting. He was in there for hours with them guns on them. And they don't bring that part out because they don't want you to see the full story of what kind of heinous beast you dealing with, man. And the proof positive is they put a white supremacist in the White House. So don't act like it's no isolated. There's an isolated incident now. We're in an isolated incident when they don't put the white supremacists in the White House. And they said, they talking about, well, Donald Trump's approval is only 40%. It's only 40%. First of all, if it's 40% and he's an out-and-out white supremacist, that's damn good. Not only that, the rest of the white people haven't even, the ones that got to work with black people and got to work in certain situations with black people, they not saying they voting Donald Trump, but they going to vote him anyway. And it's going to be horrible for black people. You know why? Because the church is ill-equipped. The biggest problem in the black, Latino, and Native Indian community is them preachers and them religious leaders that you have, man. This is the result, man. This is the result. You had a historical church. You had a historical church that supposedly was fighting against the white supremacy by coming up against the slavery and all that. So we were told. So we was told until the massacres took place in here. Until everybody got shot up and killed inside here. Then we found out the real deal, that you was trying to love that monster who's been trying to kill us for 400 years. It's time for a revolution of righteousness in the church. Okay.
GEN.YAHANNA, one of the brothers that gets on the church, was also a slave here in Charleston, South Carolina. When he brought his freedom from his master, he won what they called the East Bay Lottery back in that time period around the 1800s.
A lottery? You had to win a lottery to get free. Wait a minute, hold it. Don't even go past that. You telling me that black people had to win a lottery to get free?
Come.
Now, let's just let that settle in you for a minute. All the lottery, the billions of dollars they got in the lottery right now, we had to win the lottery. You know what it takes to win the lottery? It's like 18 million to 1. You had to win the lottery to get freedom without having the money to get free in this empire. You telling me God loved all nations? You're a liar. You're a liar. You telling me the Christian church is about God and is telling the truth about God? You lying. Go ahead, give me some more.
Yes, sir. So the brother basically, he won the lottery, and the master promised him that he could go ahead and buy his freedom.
Right.
So he brought his freedom, but the first thing that was on his mind was revolutionizing black people from slavery in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
This right here, this church is more than just, of the Christian church as we know it today. They were sitting there making military moves to uprise against the people in Charleston. It was so heavy because, a lot of people don't know that part of history. They were sitting here contemplating on how to uprise and take over Charleston.
So let me get me right on this then. They went from black people who was enslaved, came out of slavery, was trying to stand up to protect their people, and somewhere along the line, today's Christian church brainwashed and overthrew the situation and turned it into what it became today, that end up getting black people killed, incarcerated, and all their property being stolen. Is that what you're telling me? Imagine that, man. Imagine that, General. Imagine that. You know you can't stand for that. Imagine that. Go ahead, Doc.
And then also the ag.
This is amazing.
And then also the ag, one of the reasons why it was found out that they were going and trying to lead the revolt was because they had a Judas inside of the church.
Of course.
They had a brother sitting right up in there listening to everything, taking notes, and he was going to John C. Calhoun, which was the mayor at the time over the city.
He probably became the head of the church after that. Go ahead.
And so like Denmark, Vesey, a couple other brothers who was with him, who was leading the vote, they ended up getting hung. The trees where they got hung at, the area is still actually on Ashley Street, which is a couple of blocks away. So that's another place if you would like to, we could also check that.
I want to see the tree. I mean, this is where people actually got hung, right?
Right,
This is, you know what I'm saying? We hear about it in the north and in other parts of the country and in the Caribbean. But until you come down here and walk these streets and see what it is, it's a different spirit that's down in this place, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Doc.
Yes, sir. So, and another, as a result of this revolt that Denmark Vesey tried to lead, they built something called the Old Citadel. Today they call it the South Carolina State Arsenal.
I think I saw it, that big silver complex.
Well, that's the new one.
Oh, that's
the
the
military
new
one.
one.
But they got the old one, which I think it's
embassy.
It's an embassy now, so it's like a suite. But if you go there, it has a plaque up there that shows you Denmark Vesey. It talks about Denmark Vesey and how they erected that citadel, that military, in order to keep to stop any more slavery wars from happening in Charleston, South Carolina.
They raised the whole army to make sure we wouldn't stand up for what was right.
White man is the motherfucking devil. They took me out the cooler, I hit them with the flame. Yo, I'm a bit cooler, my niggas are the same. Since the last time you heard, ain't a damn thing changed. But the numbers in my brain, my mentality is game. Our enemies are strained from the wound like Cain. You can sit around and ferment or move like Cain. I'm a cook like Cain, man, the law was the recipe. I spit the scripts aggressively to manifest the destiny that stops your honest mentally from ever sitting next to me. Unless he rockin' rusty shackles cutting through his flesh and need a medical attention. Cattle, iron burn, neck, fill his cup with Oscar Grant's blood. I ain't done yet, just like a death adder that can never feel sorrow. We gon' double up them hollows, leave your mind all hollow. Bring it back to work tomorrow, the judgment which always follows. There'll be no time to coddle, that's a promise, kid. You think that I'm a skid? Nah, bitch, run them right over like an overgrown.
So right here, this plaque gives you all the information. So first, if I could say this, it's hard. It's very difficult to find Charleston information on the internet. It's really difficult. You know what I'm saying? So I'll start with this date right here, 1822. It says, first constructed as a 2-story armory and fortress as a result of the Denmark Vesey slave uprising. That's the main point I wanted to bring out to you. It's just when when you try to show anybody, what this building is about, that's what you want to let them know, because that's what it really was for. It was for the slave uprising.
And if I could,
yes, sir.
It was amazing. It's amazing. That what he just read out is absolutely amazing, and here's why. Because our whole time in school, we are taught like the slaves never rose up.
Right.
They rose up so much in 1822 that they had to erect a fort against us, which is how much we did not want to be in this slavery no more. They make it act like we was just beat down, and that was it. No, man, the Holy Spirit was trying to come in us. We just didn't have the truth. Everything we've learned, after coming to Charleston out and talking with you, everything that we've learned about Christianity has been a damn lie. Everything has been a lie. Like, this is heavy. Go ahead.
That was pretty much the major point out of it. Everything else is just under history pertaining to the building, but that is the main part that I wanted to bring out, because that is the proof that this was erected originally for the uprisings of slaves. So any slave that would try to uprise on Charleston.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Gotta get it closer.
Yes, sir. Yeah, if you want.
Judgment which always follows, there'll be no time to coddle, that's a promise, kid. You think that I'm a skid? Nah, bitch, run them right over like an overgrown Mexican. Riding in the stroller, older than Motorola. Ripping that North Dakota, standing rock on a boulder. Hoping until that know you crack. I thought I told you we ain't holding back. Now where my soldiers that we living off the fat of the land. I put your foot on the neck of the white man. It's only right. Grab your sword.
Slaves in order. And now they of course say a different reason. But who's to say they won't be brought out again for the same reason? Donald Trump is already on the verge of it right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is real history right here.
Yes,
it was amazing out the water. That was beautiful.
Just lies, and he broke promises, bringing tears to their eyes. And he made promises that he could never ever keep.
So like it, sir, if I can also mention, just real quick if I could, if you can see originally, you see how the design of this field, it's just like the Confederate flag. They did that, of course, on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Ain't that something?
I'm a good like Cain, man, along with that recipe. I spit the
course, they got the opposite, like the one in Lincoln, of course, the DC right over there.
Right.
You can't speak more.
So it's more than likely for him to have the power he had in the 1700s. He was a Mason. And that probably has something to do with the whole religion of Masons. They erect that obelisk. Now, that's not confirmed information, but it appears to be the same. Because even the statue that they have him on is a known Egyptian obelisk. It's just the one without the pyramid on the top. Instead of the pyramid on the top, they put him as the capstone for that pyramid. Amazing. Amazing. We finally finding out the origins of real black Christianity for the first time.
King David with his 10,000, so this 100 bands.
He erected an army to kill people who were trying to get free from being in chains and in slavery. And once again, that church that we just went to look at was not a church where they were trying to love white people, because otherwise, why did he have to raise an army and a whole citadel to stop them? That church was founded on black slaves that were trying to revolt and get other black slaves free. And these monsters like this is who destroyed those black people. Everything we learned about Christianity is a damn lie, man. Everything that we believe in church today is not what the churches were founded. Here we are in Charleston. This is the historical beginning of slavery, man. This is where the ships came in. This is where they sold us on auction blocks. This is where the first black church, that's a historical black church. This is where the first of these churches were built at. And they were not built based on loving white people. They were built on rebelling as slaves to get free from their slave masters, so much so that it shot at a citadel that he had to build a fort, because that's what that is. If you look at those narrow windows and those towers, that's a fort. Those towers is for soldiers to stand in the top and to shoot with rifles down between the gaps. And the tight windows is so you can't get in them. And the rigid top, the rigid top, that's for cannons. So you can erect and push a cannon up to the gap and fire the cannon off. That's what they built and erected to make sure that black people didn't get out of slavery, man. And this is going back to the 1700s. So in essence, we are real Christians. We are Christians in the spirit of the Christians that actually founded these historical black churches. So we the real Christians. These Christians that are up here today are nothing more. They're not even Christians. What they are is following, they're following the religion of white America. They're following the religion of the United States. Not the religion that God gave them in that Bible. And certainly not the religion whom their forefathers were historical enemies with. They ain't following that religion. So what we getting today, the reason those 9 people got murdered in that church is because they did not do what their forefathers have taught in that historical black church. They took on the traitors' way of life. They took on the Stockholm syndrome. And because they took it on, Dylan Root was allowed to walk in that church and murder 9 people on their damn knees, man. He was allowed to murder 9 people on their knees because they took on the religion of this monster. The Jake that betrayed them brothers and sisters is who's up over your church today. That's who's running the church today. Who's running the church today is the same man that came back to this man and got black people slaughtered. They got black people slaughtered by the thousands. Is the same man sitting over your church today. And guess what? Guess what? He's going to get black people slaughtered again. He's going to lead them right to he's going to lead you right to the slaughter for his insolent spirit against what the Lord said is right and good, and against the Lord's chosen people, man. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. The brother that rebelled, it ain't no statue to him. Brother, and what did the plaque say? The plaque said it was righteous rebellion. Meaning he was right to stop them from enslaving him. Meanwhile, this man made sure the slaves were kept in their quarters. Made sure the slaves obeyed their slave masters. Made sure the slaves continued to be oppressed all the way up to the 1860s, to the emancipation and beyond. Okay, hell, you might as well say till today. White supremacy and white supremacist groups are walking around in America every day murdering and killing black people. They only wear cop uniforms now. So this man right here was one of the ones that helped secure that kind of murder, that kind of oppression, that kind of evil. And for us now to go to church and take on the philosophy of this man that's being taught to us in church is a heinous crime. It's a crime against humanity to be a black Christian in today's black church. It's a
White
crime
man
against
is the
humanity.
motherfucking devil. They took me out for cooler. I hit him with the flame. Yo, I'm a bit cooler. My niggas are the same. Since the last time you heard, ain't a damn thing changed. But the numbers in my brain, my mentality is game. Our enemies are strained from the womb like Cain. You can sit around and ferment or move like Cain. I'm a good like Cain. Man, the law was the recipe. I spit the scripts aggressively to manifest the destiny that stops your honest messily from ever sitting next to me. Unless he rockin' rusty shackles, cutting through his flesh and need a medical attention. Cattle, iron, burn, neck, fill his cup with Oscar Grant's blood. I ain't done yet, just like the death adder that can never feel sorrow. We gon' double up them hollows, leave your mind all hollow. Bring it back to work tomorrow, the judgment which always follows. There'll be no time to coddle, that's a promise, kid. You think that I'm a skid? Nah, bitch. Running right over like an overgrown Mexican. Riding in the stroller, older than Motorola. Ripping that North Dakota, sanding rock on a boulder. Hoping until I know you crack. I thought I told you we ain't holding back. Now where my soldiers at, we living off the fat of the land. I put your foot on the neck of the white man. It's only right. Grab your sword and fight, son of man. We through talking, now we hunting King David with his 10,000s. Well, this 100 bands.